Hello children and welcome to today's session. हम छोटे बच्चे थे, फिर हम थोड़ा बड़े हुए और फिर हम बिल्कुल बड़े हो गए. इसी तरह से there was a little puppy who grew up into a dog. There was a little kitten who grew up into a cat. एक छोटे से एग के अंदर से एक छोटा सा बेबी बर्ड निकलता है और वो फुल फ्लेज्ड ईगल बनके इतनी ऊपर उड़ता है. Living beings produce their own young ones, and this is so that life continues on earth, and this process is called reproduction. Different animals have different ways of reproduction. जैसा कि मैंने अभी बताया, some animals produce their young ones, some animals lay eggs, and from those eggs come out little babies that grow into full-grown adults. Let us understand in this chapter different ways by which different animals reproduce. There are egg-laying animals and then there are animals that give birth to babies. Let us understand first about mammals. Mammals are animals that give birth to their babies. इनके तो आप बहुत सारे एग्जाम्पल दे सकते हो. Cow, buffalo, horse, giraffe, donkeys, even lions, tigers, and human beings. There are three different characteristics of mammals. Number one, mammals are warm-blooded animals. That means they are not able to change their body temperature according to the environment. तो mammals को गर्मी में गर्मी लगेगी और सर्दी में सर्दी लगेगी. Second, mammals feed their babies with their milk. And the third, all mammals have hair on their body. This is a very interesting thing. Just check your arms. Do you have hair? Yes, you do. All mammals give birth to their young ones. But there is a very different and unique mammal that does not give birth to its baby. It lays eggs. And this is called a platypus. Platypus are usually found in Australia, and just like the other egg-laying animals, platypus also lays eggs. Now, what are the different animals that lay eggs? I'm sure you can recall 4 or 5 of them. So there are birds that lay eggs. There are reptiles like snakes, turtles, tortoise, crocodiles that lay eggs. And there are insects that lay eggs. Now, eggshell has a very unique structure. Let us understand with the help of this video. As you can see here, the egg is inside a very strong shell. Within this shell are different parts of the egg. Let us see which ones. The white part inside the eggshell is known as this albumin has got the yolk in the center. As you can see in the picture, the yolk is yellow in color. This yolk stores food for the embryo, and from this yolk, the embryo develops into a fully grown organism. Let us understand with the help of this picture. As we can see here, the adult bird lays the egg. The egg contains the embryo. Now this embryo begins to grow, and once the embryo has fully developed into a bird, the bird breaks open the eggshell and comes out, and outside it grows into a full-grown bird. The second example that we are going to take is going to be of a reptile. What are reptiles? Reptiles are basically animals like lizards, snakes, turtles, and crocodiles that lay their eggs on the ground. Their eggs are protected by a shell. We are going to learn about the cycle of a frog. A frog, as we all know, is an amphibian. Amphibian क्या होते हैं? Amphibian वो होते हैं जो land पे भी रह सकते हैं और जो water में भी रह सकते हैं. Let us understand the life cycle of a frog. A frog lays eggs in a large number. Now these eggs are in a cluster, and this cluster is called spawn. After a few days, as you can see in the video, these eggs hatch into tiny tadpoles. These tadpoles are huge in number and they keep swimming about all the pond. After a few days, tiny tails develop out of these tadpoles, and the tail becomes shorter, the legs grow, and soon these will develop into fully grown frogs. Let us now come to the life cycle of an insect. There are many insects, as you can read in your book as well: butterfly, housefly, grasshopper, cockroach, mosquito, etc. They all develop from eggs, but the steps in their life cycle may be different. Let us closely examine the life cycle of a cockroach. As you can see, the life cycle of a cockroach has only 3 steps in it. So there is the egg, the nymph, and the adult cockroach. Whereas on the other hand, the life cycle of a housefly has got 4 stages in it. So there is the egg develops into a caterpillar. The caterpillar goes into a sleeping state called pupa. प्यूपा के अंदर उसके ऊपर एक शेल आ जाता है, and when the housefly develops inside this pupa, it breaks open the pupa and flies out. So different insects have got different stages in their life cycle. But one thing which is common to all living organisms is that they care for their young ones. Different animals have a different time period for taking care of the young ones. Human beings have the longest time period in which they take care of their young ones. So in this chapter, we have learned how different animals produce their own young ones. We have learned about egg-laying animals. We have learned about animals that give birth to their young ones. Thank you for joining us today.